Appreciate y'all coming out today. I know our kids are excited about Fan Day. Not that they're not excited about Media Day, but they are excited to interact with our fans. Obviously, Lane Stadium's been a special place to play over the years, and it's always fun to get to interact with the people that make it special, which are the fans. We've had a good start to camp. We're 10 practices in. We have a tremendous amount of work to do. Again, our old guys are continuing to try and bring the young guys along. But every day is a challenge for us. We're continuing to try and get better. I think the kids deserved another day off today. I kind of like the way the schedule has fallen. We're now finished with summer school, which is kind of a unique part of our scheduling, is that we're in summer school throughout a decent portion of 2 days or camp. So we're done with that. We've got a week left of just playing football. So
You'll have questions, raise your hands, we'll get a mic to you.
Justin, your last two Memphis teams ranked 36th in the country in pace of play. Tech was below 80th in each of those two seasons. How much of a change is that, and how has it been teaching that to your players? Or are you not wedded to that pace, perhaps?
Oh, I don't know. Pace is a function of a lot of things. It's a function of efficiency. It does you no good to go quickly and not execute. I mean, we all know that, and that's stating the obvious. But the more efficient you are, the more opportunities you have to pick up the tempo. I think it's going to be a byproduct of a couple things. One, how many guys we feel comfortable with playing, and two, how efficient we are. Will ultimately determine those factors and the types of games that we play in. 2 years ago at Memphis, we were very, very good on defense. We had 8 senior starters. So we manipulated the pace a little bit more in terms of we weren't afraid to punt, so to speak. Our most recent year at Memphis, we were very young. We graduated all those senior defensive players, and our mentality had to change a little bit offensively. Again, I go back to kind of what we talked about to start with. It's about trying to find a way to win the ball game. So how has it been? It's been good. The kids have embraced it. The kids have tried to do it. Ultimately, I don't know what the final statistics will be on how fast or slow we end up moving. There's kind of some variables in there that will ultimately determine how quickly we end up moving.
Coach, we always worry about coming out of the spring and, of course, back in through the summer injuries. I mean, how healthy are you right now, and how has that progressed, and some of the players that might be coming back still?
Yeah, we've had a successful camp in that aspect. I think two groups of people deserve a tremendous amount of credit for that. Mike Goforth does a fantastic job in our training room, and Ben Hilgard has done a great job getting our kids ready for camp. I just can't say enough about the job he and his staff have done. You can never eliminate all of those things, but I think through some of the things we've done, it's given us a chance to maybe avoid some of those things. So we're in good shape heading forward.
Justin, when you first met Brendan Motley and got to know him a little bit, what were your impressions? What did you think of the guy?
There was a young man that loved Virginia Tech, that wants to play well and play at a high level. He's a very laid-back guy, which is absolutely fine with me. There are a bunch of different personalities that have played quarterback through the years, and he's pretty laid back, which is easy to get along with and talk to. Much like talking to an adult in terms of his maturity level. I think the things that are really important to him in his life are the important things in life. And I've enjoyed our relationship. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, he's a big, strong kid, throws the ball well, is a good athlete. My understanding was he's a highly decorated kid coming out, was, kind of did it all, comes from a long lineage of good athletes, and he showed that.
I guess at this point we have to ask you every time, have you named a starter yet for quarterback?
No.
General impressions from the scrimmage yesterday getting out there?
Oh, I'd say some good and some bad, but I'd say that's pretty on par with everybody out there. I understand the importance of that position. Trust me, I do. And I understand the curiosity behind it. I think that spot is much like many other spots on our team right now. You go out there and see some good things and see some things that we need to get cleaned up in order to give ourselves a chance to have success from both guys.
In the back.
Coach, you're less than 3 weeks away from the season opener. Just your thoughts and feelings. What do you feel is the biggest thing you learned about your team with less than 3 weeks ago before kickoff?
Well, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on our team in terms of I think we have a selfless group of guys that wants to do what's right, that wants to work incredibly hard and give themselves a chance to win ball games. There's a certain level of workload that you have to do in order to just give yourself a chance. There are no guarantees, but they've been willing to do that thus far. I think this is important to them. I like where their mind's at. I don't know. To me, it's about getting the job done now. It's about let's go execute. Let's learn how to prepare. Let's do the little things, taking care of our body and that sort of stuff, to give ourselves a chance. So, I like their mindset. We're going to go through ups and downs. They know that. And, how we handle those ups and downs, whether it's in the first quarter of a game or through an entire half or through a week or whatever it is, however we handle those ups and downs will ultimately determine our long-term success. So we're getting them ready for that.
What's your preference in terms of 8 or 9 conference games scheduling going forward for the ACC?
Yeah, that's a good question, one that's been talked about a lot amongst the coaches, and I'm sure the athletic directors and Witt will do a great job making the decision that's best. The thing I would tell you, there are a lot of factors there when you start talking about Notre Dame being on the schedule. When you talk about there's some teams that have their rivalry games are non-conference games. Ours is an in-conference game. So, there's different sets of kind of each team has got their own set of issues, or each program has their own set of issues, whether it's 8 or 9. All that being said, I know Witt and the rest of the athletic directors will make the decision that's best for the league, and whatever it is, we'll move forward with it.
Coach?
No, I don't. I've thought about it, quite honestly, and there's a lot of pluses, minuses on both sides. I'm good with whatever we decide.
Coach, the offense pretty well starts and ends with the offensive line. How good is the offensive line thus far, do you think?
Well, we'll see. I like, kind of that's the group that ever since we've been here has been the most consistent in terms of being accountable, being where they're supposed to be, being ready to go to work on a daily basis. I love their mindset. We have some young guys that are pushing for playing time at different spots. It'll be interesting to see as we continue to move forward how it all kind of unfolds. I know in the long run, we'll need, however many we feel comfortable with, the 10 or 11 guys that we feel comfortable with, we're going to need them. So they're coming along. We've got great leadership, I'll say that, and Augie Conti and John McLaughlin. They are fantastic individuals that have worked incredibly hard and do a great job setting the tone for that room.
Coach, Jimbo Fisher earlier, you opened the season against the FCS team in Liberty. Jimbo Fisher earlier this week said FBS teams playing FCS team is good for college football, whether it be playing a smaller FCS school that makes their budget for the year and helps them. How do you feel about playing FCS teams and what that does for college football?
Sure. Well, I think the point that Coach Fisher was trying to make and didn't make is there's a trickle-down effect. When you start to think about, I've coached and played at the 1AA level, and we needed those games in order to help the women's rowing team or, the other, so-called non-revenue or Olympic sport teams make their budget. And in turn, those, I still call them 1AA, but those 1AA teams in turn play a Division II team and pay them a little bit of money. So there's certainly a trickle-down economic effect, if you will, in college football. And I just think, I don't want to speak for Coach Fisher, I'm just saying, all of those things need to be taken into consideration when we make decisions. And I believe that on many different levels, whether it's 8 or 9 conference games or whether it's scheduling models or however it is. I mean, there's some real factors to be taken into consideration when we're making those decisions.
Last one for Coach, and then we'll bring Coach Foster up in the back.
Coach, you had said early in the preseason that one of your big concerns was depth at wide receiver. Are you making progress there? Do you see any good possibilities for depth?
I would say this. I would say we are making progress, and I'm encouraged by it. I would say it's still a concern. Jalen Bradshaw has had a good camp, is coming along nicely. Henry Murphy's having a good camp, coming along. Divine Diablo and Eric Kuma are 2 other guys that have a chance. C.J. Carroll has been doing a good job. So within those guys and then some of the other younger guys, I'm hopeful that those guys can keep making progress to give us some quality depth there. But we're certainly better off than we were 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago, but still have a lot of work left to do.
Thank you, Coach.